The laughter cut through the open fields like a cruel wind. It wasn't the cheerful laughter of joy, but the sharp, mocking kind that makes your stomach twist. Emily stood frozen by the worn wooden fence at the edge of her family's farm, clutching a basket of fresh eggs to her chest. "Hey, farm girl," one of the boys sneered, kicking at the dirt. "Why don't you call your husband to save you?" "Oh wait, he's too busy playing soldier." The group of bullies, all from town. Kids who had grown up mocking anyone who dared live a simple life outside the city, closed in around her. Their clothes were brand new, their sneakers spotless, and their phones out, ready to record another video to post online. Emily's hands trembled, but not from fear. At least, not entirely. She had grown used to their insults over the past few months. What cut deeper was the loneliness. Her husband, Daniel, had been gone for almost a year now, serving overseas. The world didn't know he was part of Delta Force, one of the most elite military units in existence. To everyone else, he was just a soldier. To Emily, he was everything. But right now, in the middle of the taunts, she felt very much alone. The bullies circled closer. One boy grabbed the basket of eggs and smashed them onto the ground, laughing as the yolk splattered her boots. Another shoved her shoulder, forcing her to stumble back against the fence. "What are you going to do, farm girl?" "Call your soldier boy," a tall one said, pulling out his phone. "Simon, say it for the camera. Call your husband to save you." Emily's throat tightened. For a moment, she thought about shouting his name, thought about letting them laugh even more. But then she remembered the promise she'd made to Daniel before he left: never let them break you. So she straightened her shoulders, wiped the dirt from her palms, and stared them down. "You think you're strong because you're standing in a group. But one day, you're going to find out what real strength looks like." They laughed harder. "Yeah. From who?" "Your soldier husband." Emily didn't answer. She didn't have to. Hours later, as the sun began to dip behind the fields, Emily walked back to the farmhouse, her heart heavy. She tried to stay strong, but when she closed the door behind her, tears slipped down her cheeks. The truth was, she missed Daniel more than words could ever say. His absence made every day harder, every chore heavier, every cruel word from town sharper. That night she sat by the window with her phone in her hand, debating whether to call him. The signal wasn't always strong where he was, and she didn't want to worry him with her troubles. He had enough on his plate. But just as she was about to put the phone down, it buzzed in her hand. It was Daniel. "Hey, Em," his voice came through, tired but steady. "How are my fields holding up?" Her voice cracked. "They're fine. Just people from town, giving me a hard time again." There was silence on the other end, not long but heavy. Then his tone changed, quiet but razor sharp. "What did they say to you?" Emily hesitated, but finally whispered, "They told me to call my husband." And they laughed. Daniel didn't raise his voice, but the steel in it was unmistakable. "Then I guess it's time I come home." The next week, the bullies returned. They never learned. This time, they rolled onto the farm in a pickup truck, blaring music, shouting across the field. "Farm girl, did you call your husband yet? Where's your hero soldier?" Emily stood on the porch, her hands folded tightly in front of her. Her heart raced, but her face remained calm. Behind her, the farmhouse door creaked open. The laughter died almost instantly. Daniel stepped onto the porch. He didn't need a uniform. He didn't need to say a word. The way he carried himself, the way his eyes locked onto the boys, was enough. His presence was steady, unshakable, like a storm held barely in check. The bullies shifted uncomfortably, glancing at each other. The tall one tried to cover his nerves with a laugh. "So this is the famous soldier husband, huh? What are you going to do, scare us off?" Daniel's voice was low, but every syllable carried weight. "I don't have to scare you. I just need you to understand something. He stepped down from the porch, walking straight toward them. The world you live in, the one where you mock people to feel strong, doesn't last. Out there, I've seen boys like you crumble when things get real. You think you know toughness. You've never seen real fear, real courage, real sacrifice. The group shuffled back. One muttered under his breath, "We were just joking." Daniel's jaw tightened. You don't joke by breaking someone down. You don't joke by ganging up on one person. You think this is harmless. You're teaching yourselves to be cowards. No one laughed now. The silence was thick, broken only by the crickets in the fields. Daniel's voice softened, but it cut deeper than any shout. You're lucky I'm home. Because if you'd touched her again, I don't know if I could have forgiven myself for what I'd do. The boys didn't argue. One by one, they turned and climbed into their truck, driving away without another word. Emily's eyes blurred with tears as she watched them go. When she looked at Daniel, his shoulders relaxed for the first time in months. He walked up the steps, pulled her into his arms, and whispered, "They'll never bother you again." She pressed her face into his chest, her voice muffled. "I didn't want to call you. I didn't want to add to your burden." Daniel tilted her chin up so she'd meet his eyes. "Emily, you are never a burden. Not to me. Everything I do out there, everything I fight for, it's so you can live without fear. So if anyone ever tells you to call your husband," his lips curved into the faintest smile, "you call me. Always." From that day on, no one in town dared mock Emily again. Not because they were afraid of Daniel's fists. He had never raised a hand. But because they had seen something they couldn't unsee, the quiet, unshakable strength of a man who lived for honor, and the unwavering courage of the woman who loved him. And in the fields where laughter once stung like thorns, there was now only peace.